Hello, hello, hello. Oh my goodness. We are nearly 1 month into the new year already. I don't know about you guys, but I feel like January just whoosh, flew by. I don't know if you can notice, we're gonna see how this goes because my throat, just like an itty bitty like kiss of a cold, just enough to be annoying, but not enough to like keep me down or anything, but it is kind of affecting my voice. So if you're like watching several episodes at once, yeah, a little deeper today. Not too bad, but a little scratch. Anyway, hey, I am Lindsay and welcome to All the Yarn. You can find me here, obviously. You can find me on Instagram as All the Yarn and on Ravelry as All the Yarn Dash. I used to be better, but I'm fairly good at keeping good notes on my Ravelry project pages. So if you're ever wondering like, what was that mod on that sweater? Usually I make pretty good notes on there and you can see what I did and how I got to different things, especially like on my weaving projects. So yeah, if you're not on Ravelry, it's a great resource for crochet, knitting, weaving, spinnings, just, I have no affiliation with them whatsoever. I just find it to be a useful tool for my fiber crafting. It's not for everybody. It's okay. If it's not for you, it's okay. Anyway, what have I been doing? I'll tell you what I've been doing. I've been doing a little bit of this. Yeah. So this is my Zweig. That is a Caitlin Hunter, also known as Boylan Knits design. Guys. Okay, so if you don't know, I started knitting these yarns together, like last summer, I think? It had to be. Yeah, because I went to a fiber festival in August to get different yarn, and I already had like a yoke done. So, oh my gosh, this sweater has been quite the project in the making. The yarn and the pattern that I originally chose just fought each other, and the original pattern that I was going with was a Solvay by Jennifer Steingast, Knit Love Wool. I love her patterns, and it wasn't a problem with the pattern at all. It was 100% my yarn choice. And FYI, I did do the black and white photo on these two yarns together, and they looked extremely different. Like it looked like it was gonna work. So, I mean, if you don't know what I'm talking about, so if you're gonna do color work, or you're putting two colors of yarn together and you want to make sure that there's going to be a decent amount of contrast, you can take a black and white picture, and if you can tell that there's a decent amount of contrast in the picture, that will usually let you know that those colors will play well together in your project. If you don't see a lot of contrast in the black and white picture, then they're probably they're both too light, too medium. They're just too close together. You're not going to get a lot of contrast. Well, I did the black and white photo trip. It is not fail proof, just FYI. So anyway, I did, I got very far in the Solvay. It wasn't working. I tried the Solvay again. It still didn't work. Then we came to Zweig. So this is what we ended up with. Now these are Hue Loco, her Tweed base. This is Snowshoe. And I have been knitting with this so long. I don't have it in my notes. Wood Sprite. I'm sure it is. If it's not, it'll be the correct color name will be in the notes. But I'm pretty sure this is Snowshoe and Wood Sprite. And it's kind of amazing. And y'all, you can, I mean, there's good contrast here. And it's good contrast like with my real eye. I am telling you that Solvay, there was no contrast. It was terrible. I had it confirmed by many knitting friends. They all said, oh, it looks good on camera, but it doesn't look good in real life. So I'm so glad I found the right combo for these. I really wanted these two yarns together. And I'm so glad I found the right pattern to put these this combination together. So very cool. This is my 1FO, my Zweig. I'm very excited about it. Little bit of pooling. I did do the helical knitting. I got just a little bit of gold pooling here and here. It looks great on. It's not something I'm like giving even a second thought. I kind of forgot about it till I held it up. I noticed when I was blocking it, but the only modifications that I did was that I didn't like the idea of a very big, what is it, like a puff. There we go. I didn't really want a big puff to my sleeve. So I did do some additional decreases, but I didn't do all the way decrease. So it's not like an extremely tapered, but I did taper it a little bit more than what the pattern called for it before I got ready for the cuff. And I made my cuffs extra long because I like to do this. So I made them long enough so that I can fold them over. Very little mods compared to what sometimes I've done. So yeah, yay! FO! Fingering weight sweater, very exciting. There's, I'll have to see if I can find it. There's someone on Instagram that's doing like 2,023 grams of yarn out of stash in 2023. I don't know if I mentioned this in my last episode because, you know, I recorded that a month ago. I don't remember what I talked about a month ago, but I'm kind of trying to figure out if I can keep track of that to see like how long does it take me to get to 2,023 grams. But anyway, side note. Okay, let's talk about whips. This sweater was on my list of things that I was going to knit last year. And I just didn't, because, you know, I like did some like swaps and everything. Like, oh, I want to knit this sweater. Well, I'm going to swap it with this sweater. And I allow that. Like, I have a list of sweaters I want to get through this year. But if I find another pattern that I'm just dying to cast on right then, I allow swaps. It's fine. This is Thereafter. Oh, look at that. It is a gorgeous tonal mid-tone gray. And oh, look, very these are not even the same brands or anything, but very clearly I'm in a neutral mood and it is so nice. It's not the most fun thing to knit. I mean, I gotta tell you, knitting the Zweig was so fun because every stitch was a different color. This is not that, but I pull this on all the time, all year round. Like I mean, middle of summer, but it's like, oh, it's a chilly night. I'm going to grab this. I grab this so much. I love this sweater. I hated all this ribbing, and I even posted on that on Instagram and the designer said, you're nearly done. And she was right. I was almost done. I was just being a baby about it. So I appreciated her encouragement. Anyway, I digress. This is an Alicia Plummer pattern. This is called Thereafter, and I am knitting this in my Mineville wool project. This is a singles. I've never done a sweater in a single, but I have a lot of this yarn and I'm going to take the risk. I know other people have knit sweaters in a single ply. It makes me nervous. I know I'm going to have to be very gentle with this because there's not that twist to give the yarn more strength. But I really like it. It's, I mean, single ply is very soft. So yeah, so this is Thereafter. It's got this cute little spine cable detail in the back and past the sleeve split. I gotta tell you, I got to this point and I have not worked on it for like 2 weeks. So I cast this on so quickly and then that's it. Did I have this going? No, I don't think I had this going yet. I think this is a 2023 cast on, but it's a DK. Girl. Okay, I get it. Those people that are like, how do you knit fingering weight sweaters? I only do DK and worsted. I get it. I forget about it a lot, but I forget how fast DK knits up. Oh my gosh. Every time I do a DK or a worsted sweater, I'm like, wow, that went fast. And then I understand if you start there and then you go to a fingering weight sweater and it feels like such a slog because the yarn is so thin and you have to do 17,000 more stitches and everything. I get it. But my very first sweater was a worsted weight, but it was terrible. My second sweater though was a fingering weight sweater and I love it. And I just kind of stuck with fingering weight sweaters after that. So that's where my normal is a fingering weight sweater. I love how lightweight they are. I can wear them in the summer, spring, fall, winter. I will say when it's really frigid cold, like right now, this week is freezing. I'm wearing my worsted weight sweaters a lot, and some of my DK as well. But I really, my go-to is those fingering weight sweaters. But anyway, again, I digress. So this is where we're at with Thereafter. There is quite a bit of body to go yet, sleeves and whatnot, but a great start. And there's something about getting past the sleeve split that makes it feel like, oh, it's nearly done. Like I've got him so long to go, but it feels like it's almost done. It's totally fine. So that's project one. Let's do, I'm back. Let's do an update here. You guys have seen this one. This is my Fantastitch. Okay, I want to finish this year, and I've decided after I record, every month after I record, I'm going to do a section. And so that's what I did. So I was right in the middle of these blocks, and I finished up the block section. I did these 2 rows here, and I've done this garter stitch section, and now I'm ready for the next section. So before I forget, I'm going to move my marker down. Oh, my little Nomi fell off. Look, he's so cute. My little Nomi. All right. Oh, and he's gray today too. Gray and yellow. Oh, must be a thing. A little foreshadowing there. All right. So there he is. He's right here now. And the next time I do another episode, there'll be another section. Now, how big each section is just goes by the pattern. So I didn't have to do very much this last month because the section was very small. I didn't have to do much. I don't know how big the next section is, but that's my goal. 1 section each month, and I should easily then get to the end of this before the end of the year. And that's the goal. Here's the yarn. It is just a mishmash of things. Like I normally go through like, oh, this is this yarn, and oh, this is that yarn. And oh, I just dropped some yarn. I'm not doing that on this because I don't have labels on anything. I think I could actually figure out what most of it is, but oh my gosh. We'd be here for 20 minutes with me just naming yarns, and I'll bet most of them aren't even available anymore because this is scraps, and my scraps live up here. I kind of have a mess going, so ignore my mess, but my scraps live up here for forever before I finally use them. Some get used a little bit faster, but man, oh man. All right. And this is my last whip. We're just flying through this. This is going to be a quick episode. I'm okay with that because it's getting scratchier. Okay, this is Third Coast. Look at that. I got a dangly ball. Got a dangly ball. Okay, this is Third Coast. God, isn't that gorgeous? Now, I will say, on camera, you can definitely see how I'm fading. Like, it looks like big, chunky stripes. It's not as, it's noticeable, but it's not as like, oh, right here. Oh, right here. It's not quite as noticeable in person. It's a little bit fadier. But basically what I'm doing, I gotta hold on to my needles very tightly so I don't drop anything. So I started with this. This is all Madeline Tosh, and it's a DK. I'm into DK right now. Although I really, really, really want to cast on the Solvi again, except in correct yarn. I'll show you the yarn in a second. I'm excited. Maybe what happens is I talk about it and then I stop and I edit, and by the time I'm done editing, I'm so motivated to cast on something new. Anyway, this is all Madeline Tosh DK, and it's like a silk merino base. Let me see. Yeah. Silk merino. So 50% superwash merino, 50% silk. It's so shiny. Oh my gosh. It doesn't, and again, remember, silk and cashmere are both like what I'm like, oh, those are luxury fibers, but they're very different. I feel like cashmere has a squish to it, and silk has like a smooth drapiness to it. So this is going to be really drapey. I'm very excited about it. So I got these from like a potluck sale at SimplySocks. And I have this yellow that's a like kind of a tonal, and then I go into this speckly color, which is yellow and has some grays. And what I did was like here, I have that speckly color as the background, and I kept the solid tonal yellow as the crisscross. And then here, then this is just the speckle stuff. Here I did the gray as the crisscross, and the speckly stuff still behind it. And pretty soon I'm going to switch the yellow speckle to Farmhouse White. So it'll be white. So it's going to fade into just a white and gray. I've got lots of fun ideas as far as how I'm going to do the top collar section and the sleeves. But it's all going to be in that Grello kind of family. So this is just fun because, this is my third attempt at this sweater. My first attempt last summer, spring, summer, I had a gray, it was a Mineville wool project. I believe it was Knit Graffiti was the colorway. And I was going to do this sweater in that yarn. And it, again, bad match. I'll tell you what, I really had a lot of bad matches last year now that I think about it. But that's okay. It's part of the process. It's part of the journey. Part of being creative is knowing when to keep forging ahead and when to, take a step back. So anyway, and then I did this sweater with these colors, but I picked the wrong size. And I was knitting it. I thought it was going to be okay. And I kept looking at it. I'm like, this is not going to be okay. I'm not going to wear it because it's the wrong size. It was way too big. Now there's kind of oversized, and then there's way too big, and it was going to be way too big. So I ripped it all out, picked the right size, and now it's a breeze. I'm so glad I did it because, guys, this is going to be fabulous. So again, the pattern is Third Coast. I don't know if I wrote down. It is by Laura Dobratz. But it's part of Nomadic Knits put out these like little pattern booklets by state. So this is part of the Michigan Nomadic Knits pattern booklet. And I bought the whole booklet. There's a whole bunch of patterns that I'm going to do. And there's another one that I'm hoping to do yet this year. So I'm very excited. And it's going to be another fade. So I'm excited. Anyway, yeah. So Third Coast is the name of the pattern. You'll find it on Nomadic Knits Michigan booklet. And I'm using Madeline Tosh Merino. And give me 1 second. I'll be right back because I want to show you what I'm going to do with the Solvay. Okay, so this is most likely going to be one of my next cast on. Maybe not the next cast on because I want to cast on some fingerless mitts. I have wound the yarn. I wound the yarn like early last year, and it's just been sitting. So I really want to cast those on. I've got a knitting retreat, which I'm going to talk, or fiber retreat coming up, which I'm going to talk about in a second. And it's nice sometimes to have a smaller project to work on, but definitely I'm going to be working on my sweaters. I'm hoping to get thereafter the sleeves done, if not more of the body. And wishful thinking, I'd love to get Third Coast completely done, but I don't know. That might be pushing it. It just depends on how much I knit between now and when the retreat starts. But again, I'm getting ahead of myself. What? This is Less Traveled Yarn, her tweed base. And this is Cerulean Tide to Die For. Look at that. Look at that. And this is Barley. Again, just beautiful, beautiful gray tonal, just a hint of beige in there. Look at that. So that is the kind of contrast that is going to make a gorgeous colorwork sweater. And then I love the little bits of tweed in there, just kind of add a little bit of flair. So this is the next sweater cast on, and I can already tell I'm getting excited talking about it. So as soon as I'm done recording, I'm going to wind these up, so just because I want to get to that color work yoke. So very excited. This knitting fiber, it's not a knitting retreat. Okay. I keep saying that because I will end up doing a lot of knitting, but that's what I'm choosing to do. It is a fiber retreat. It is the Sauders Village Fiber Retreat in February. It's the weekend right before Valentine's Day. So I don't have the dates in front of me, but it's like, I don't know, it's that weekend. It's in Archbold, Ohio, and it's real low key. We just like sit and craft, you know, so there's people crocheting, there's people spinning, there's people weaving, there's people knitting. And we just sit and all weekend. Oh my gosh, it restores me. There's no one saying, hey, mom, can you get this? Or, hey, honey, do you mind, you know, running out and blah, 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 blah. All that's gone. You are just sitting there and crafting and like making some serious, like progress in your projects and getting to know fellow crafters and picking up like different tips and tricks. Like, oh, I've never thought to do that. Oh my gosh. Like that's what the whole weekend is. It's so much fun. So I will link the Sauders Village Fiber Retreat webpage below. It's coming up fast though, so I will try to get this video wrapped up and posted either today or tomorrow so that it can go out into the world and people that haven't registered can. There is a cap. They have in the past met that cap, so I do know they're not there yet, but I don't know how many spots are available. So if you're thinking about it, if you're on the edge, strongly suggest you do it quickly. Yeah, there's also, there is like a swap. So like if you've got yarn that you're just not going to use anymore, it's sat in your stash and it marinated and you appreciated its beauty. And now you've realized, you know what, it's time to release it into the world for someone else. You know, you can sell it at the swap. I don't know. It's just a lot of fun. Anyway, so that's coming up. It's the second weekend of February of 2023. And I'm very excited. I've enjoyed being a part of that the last couple of years. And so, yeah, anyway, yeah, so I'll be there. And so will many, many friends and many friends that are yet to be friends. We haven't met yet, but I'm sure we're going to be friends. Yeah, that's what's going on. So, like I said, this is going to be a short episode. Just the one FO, but that's usually me. I don't have a ton of FOs because I do sweaters and not hats. So that's how it goes. Always working on multiple things at a time. There's my whips, updates. I do have progress on my Easy Goes It, the yellow shawl. It's nearly done, but I forgot to grab it, and my husband grabbed my card and put gas in it for me. Isn't he sweet? Oh, so I don't have it. But I've made a lot of progress, and that actually will hopefully be an FO by the end of February. So that's exciting. And I think that the fingerless mitts might be my car project then. Fantastitch is just a little too big to fit into my purse. You know what I mean? So we'll see. Anyway. As far as goals, finishing up the Zweig was definitely one of my goals. So that's off the list. I've started 2 sweaters that are on the list of sweaters that I want to knit this year. So I have started my second year of school. It's a 3-year program, starting year number 2. I can't believe the first third is done. That's exciting. I'm more excited about what I'm learning this year than what I was last year, because last year was a lot of like the core stuff. And then this year, it's a lot of the stuff that I actually want to learn about. So that's exciting. And I've started going back to the gym. I have gone to the gym at least twice a week, every week since the beginning of January. So it's been a little different going back. It always is. I've taken breaks from the gym before. It's always a little different going back. But I got to tell you, I was out of town all last week, and I made a point to pack my gym, my gym shoes, my gym clothes and everything, because the places I was staying had, you know, workout facilities. And I don't know why, But I was on the treadmill and I thought, hey, you know, I'm just gonna be on the treadmill 20, 30 minutes, whatever, get my steps in. You know, I do try to hit like 8,000 steps a day. It does not happen, but it's a goal, you know. And out of nowhere, I felt like running. Now, if you know me, you know I'm just as likely to want to run as aliens have like infested my body and taken over. So I don't know what happened, but I did. I ran for a couple minutes. It was so weird. It was so, and I enjoyed it. I don't know. I did it twice. I did it twice while I was on the road, while I was in these hotels. And I don't know if there was just like, they were pumping something into the workout facility there, but I have been to the gym since and I had no motivation to run at all. So I don't know what that was. I don't know if aliens had abducted me for a week or something, but I ran. I ran for a couple minutes. Okay, so anyway, all right, so there's an update on all of my knitting. There's an update on all of my different goals that I have for this year. Guys, it's been great hanging out with you. Please, if you're enjoying yourself, like to subscribe. More than anything, comment below. One of my other posts have gotten a lot of comments, and it's been so much fun interacting and answering questions and whatnot, so I really appreciate those. I hope that I get to meet or see you guys in February in just a couple of weeks for anyone that's local-ish to Archbold, Ohio. But otherwise, see you later. Stay healthy. Bye.